Seiya Ryuuguuin from the hero is overpowered but overly cautious. Calling him cautious is a joke in itself because the guy takes caution to the extreme. He's summoned by the rookie goddess Restarte to save Gaia Brande from a demon lord, and while he's insanely strong and smart, it's his paranoia that steals the spotlight. This dude is not your average overpowered hero who just dives headfirst into danger. Oh no, Seiya has trust issues with everything that breathes and even the things that don't. He refuses to do anything unless he's like 300% prepared for every possible scenario. We're talking intense training, over-the-top preparation, and contingency plans on top of contingency plans. And honestly, it kind of makes sense when you get his backstory. In his previous life, his recklessness led to his whole team getting wiped out, and that trauma stuck. So now, he doesn't risk anything. Instead of rushing to save Gaia Brande, Seiya spends days training in the Divine Realm's safe zone. Meanwhile, Restarte's out here losing her mind, screaming, "The world's on fire." And Seiya, totally unfazed. Not my problem till I'm ready. When it's time to face a high-ranking demon, this supposedly big, bad threat, Seiya absolutely demolishes her. Then, to make sure she's super-duper dead, he keeps blasting her corpse with overkill spells. He's like, ashes aren't enough. Let's turn this dust into negative particles. Even the villagers aren't spared from his paranoia. They offer him food and a bed, and he's just like, nah, could be poisoned. Dude would rather crash in a dungeon than risk some sketchy stew. And let's talk about his gear. Seiya stocks up on 3 identical sets of armor and weapons, plus a pharmacy's worth of potions and antidotes, because, you know, what if the first 2 sets fail? Oh, and his battle tactics? Insane. A slime shows up, mega fire magic. Because why risk it, right? And here's the kicker. He doesn't trust anyone, not even Restarte. He keeps his plans a secret, questions everyone's intentions, and never shows his true power. His logic, the less they know, the less they can mess me up. Han Jue, from top Tier Providence, secretly cultivate for 1,000 years, is basically the king of staying under the radar while secretly becoming ridiculously OP. Born into a servant family in the Jade Pure sect, his start was rough, abandoned at 6 and raised by Elder Iron, an alchemy master. But Han Jue? Not your average kid. From day one, he's got this insane system that's been with him since birth, and it's a total game changer. It lets him re-roll his cultivation talent and providence, so he can fine-tune himself to absolute perfection. Imagine being able to reset your worst traits until you're a literal cultivation god. And on top of that, the system pushes him to be steady, avoid drama, and steer clear of unnecessary trouble. The system even lets him simulate battles and dangerous situations. Before he so much as lifts a finger in a fight, Han Jue runs a full sim to see if he's gonna win, or, get wrecked. If the outcome doesn't look good, he straight up skips the fight. Or, if he has to show up, he preps to the max, stacks the odds in his favor, and whips out the Book of Misfortune to curse his enemies into oblivion. Even though Han Jue is ridiculously powerful, like deity-level OP, he's all about laying low. He's spent thousands of years in secluded cultivation, dodging fame and attention like they're a death sentence. Leadership? Glory? World-shaking battles? Nah, not his vibe. He's all about survival and keeping his peaceful, quiet life intact. And the guy's paranoia? Next level. His cave is fortified with so many formations and defensive arrays that even gods would have a hard time breaking in. Plus, he's got escape routes on lockdown, like some immortal version of a secret agent. Trust anyone? Nope. Han Jue keeps his circle small, relying only on himself and his tight-knit group of disciples, who are probably the only people he kind of trusts. Han Jue's morality is just as cautious as his personality. Why? Because karmic entanglements are a headache, and he's not about to risk his hard-earned peace for anyone. He avoids drama like his life depends on it, because, honestly, it kind of does. Han Li, the protagonist of a record of a mortal's journey to immortality, is the undisputed king of caution. This guy doesn't just plan ahead. He's practically a walking checklist of calculated, methodical thinking, always 10 steps ahead of everyone else. When Han Li joins the Seven Mysteries sect, his first mentor, Dr. Mo, betrays him. Imagine the one person who's supposed to guide you stabbing you in the back. That betrayal becomes a turning point in his life. It's like the universe handed him a crash course in survival. Trust no one and always watch your back. From then on, Han Li becomes the ultimate survivalist, quiet, vigilant, and always on guard. His strategy in the cultivation world: stay low-key, avoid unnecessary attention, and always have a backup plan, or three. He's a master of masks, face-changing techniques, and juggling multiple identities. Sometimes he even spends centuries in secluded cultivation to level up without anyone noticing. Why? Because in this world, the moment someone knows you're strong, they either try to use you or take you down. And Han Li? He doesn't show off. Even when he becomes a golden core cultivator, he pretends to be a weakling stuck at foundation building. The guy literally holds his breath and suppresses his aura so no one suspects his true strength. By playing weak, he avoids unnecessary fights, gauges his enemies, and only unleashes his real power when absolutely necessary. Han Li's cautiousness is his survival manual. Take places like Heaven Void Hall or Devilfall Valley. Both are literal death traps crawling with ancient cultivators and deadly schemes. Yet somehow, Han Li not only survives but walks out loaded with resources. It's like he's made for these high-stakes situations. He's also extremely careful about alliances. Trust has to be earned, and even then, he never lets his guard down completely. And if he has to bow his head to avoid conflict, he'll do it in a heartbeat. Pride means nothing if it risks his life. Li Changshou from My Senior Brother Is Too Steady is basically the poster child for better safe than sorry. His entire life goal? Live forever, but with a twist. He doesn't want anyone to even notice him while he's doing it. No drama, no karma, and absolutely no celestial beings giving him side eyes. This guy is a pro at flying under the radar. He's got more disguises than a spy, and his social skills are sharp enough to fit into any crowd. But flexing? Not his style. He keeps his cultivation level and powers under wraps, only unleashing them when he has no other choice. Li Changshou's biggest enemy? Karma. To him, karma equals tribulations, and tribulations are the quickest way to mess up his plan for eternal life. So this guy plans everything, down to the last detail. Whether it's a battle, a meeting, or just taking a walk, he's got escape routes, traps, and contingency spells all prepped and ready. And when it comes to being cautious, Li Changshou is on another level. Why bother showing up in person when you can send a puppet or an avatar? If things go sideways, it's the puppet that takes the hit, not him. Smart, right? Plus, he's an alchemy and poison expert. He's always carrying antidotes, and everything he owns, his weapons, treasures, and even random objects, are pre-coated in toxins. Mess with him, and you'll regret it before you even know what hit you. Even when he's way stronger than his enemies, he downplays it. He'll let people think he's just some mid-level nobody, even though he's already reached levels most cultivators can only dream of. Why? Because staying humble, or at least pretending to be, avoids unnecessary conflict. He works best in the shadows, pulling strings behind the scenes and letting others do the fighting whenever possible.